What is good, YouTube? This your boy Aaron.
It's Brian.
This is the Courtside podcast, and we are back today. We've been gone for over a week, but now we're back, and we have a lot to discuss. You know, the last time you saw us, we were giving our predictions for the Western Conference Finals and the Eastern Conference Finals. I didn't give my pick on who I thought was going to win between the Knicks and the Pacers series. I forgot to do that. I probably would have gone with the Pacers in this scenario, but I'm not going to brag and say that, I because I didn't pick the series, I'm not going to brag on whoever wins this series. So, anywho, we're in game 6 right now. Game 6 is tonight. The Knicks are trying to come back from a 3-1 deficit. They have the opportunity tonight to get it to game 7. This is a do or die game for them. The Pacers, in my opinion, game 2, I think it was game 2 and game 4, where I felt like the Pacers had the game on lock from start to finish. The other games was a nail biter, in my opinion. Brian, so let me ask you this. What do the Knicks have to do to force a game 7 in your scenario?
What the Knicks have to do, okay. So, one thing, Cat needs to show up like he did in Game 5. He played pretty well, honestly. He was getting a lot of buckets, a lot of tough shots being made. But I gotta be honest, I don't see how the Knicks win this game. I mean, they can win, but like last game was kind of an anomaly for the Pacers, you know. Tyrese Halliburton and Siakam, I believe they had a combined 10 shots between both of them for the entire game. Like your star players, your top two guys being that passive, it's kind of odd. I don't think we're going to see something like that in this game. But the Knicks, I guess whatever they did the last game, they got it where Cat has to show up, has to be aggressive on defense. A lot of times Cat gets lost in space, and like he's just out there, and he's like it's something. It's a processing thing with him because 1-on-1 he's good, but the moment he starts having to do help defense and all that other stuff, he just looks lost out there. And he gets taken advantage of out there, and it's just bad. So we need solid performances from that. Mikal Bridges has to show up, obviously, because you gave up all this draft capital for him. The least he could do was show up in the elimination game. And Jalen Brunson. I think he was in foul trouble last game, but he's still maintaining too. So they just got to play clean basketball, man. Tom Thibodeau, you cannot get out coached again because Tom Thibodeau is just kind of just like he's using the Jason Garrett approach, and we just gonna line up, and our dudes is just gonna be better than your dudes. That doesn't work like that. And the Pacers, Rick Carlisle. He's a heck of a coach, and he's going to have them boys ready to play this game. So I don't really see how the Knicks win this game. I hope they do because I want to see a game 7 because of drama. But if I had to put money on it, I would take Pacers this game, especially at home. I just, even though the Knicks are pretty good, they had a pretty good record on the road this year in the playoffs. I believe they were 5 or 6-1, 6-2 on the road. So. But yeah, I'm going Pacers. I'd have to go Pacers. It's going to be a little difficult because the Pacers kind of could afford to lose that last game. They could afford to drop one, but I don't think they go into this game with another lackluster performance from the top two guys, like game 5. Game 5, yeah.
You make solid points. I think they could win this game, but it depends. So I think Cat and Brunson, specifically Cat, Karl-Anthony Towns, they have to set the tone. They cannot let the Pacers come out and score in bunches like they've done for 3 of the 4 victories. If I'm Cat, I am inserting myself. I have to be aggressive this game. I have to be the person that sets the tone because when he sets the tone, when he's getting it going, it seems like the offense is just more dynamic. And when he gets it going, the pace goes down. You want to make sure that the pace goes down with a Pacers team that likes to wrap up the pace. And then after that, you have Jalen Brunson. And then after that, I believe you need Mikal Bridges. I think those are the top three guys that the Knicks need offensively to set the tone. Karl Anthony Towns being that bruiser, being the guy that can get to the paint, that can abuse Miles Turner. Jalen Brunson coming afterwards, hitting a couple threes, getting into the mid-range area, drawing some fouls, and then Mikal Bridges helping out with a couple mid-range shots, keeping the lead of sorts. So I think those three guys are very important in this game. I also think Tom Thibodeau and his rotations is going to be very vital. Just like with last game, Landry Shamet has been an unsung hero for the Knicks, and also Precious Achiuwa at certain points with his defense, DeLon Wright, Miles McBride. These are guys that they have relied on, especially game 5, that really gave them some firepower offensively and defensively. I believe if the Knicks can get some quality minutes from those guys, I think it will bode well for them overall. I just think they should keep the starting lineup as it is, where they bring Josh Hart off the bench and have Mitchell Robinson be in the game for some extended period of time. They had Mitchell Robinson. I think he started for the first 12 minutes of the quarter, and then they had Cat sub out, I think at the 7-minute mark or something like that. So I think that's the way to go. If they can continue to do that, I believe the Knicks can win this game. But again, it's easier said than done. For the Pacers side of things, I think whatever worked in games 2 and 4 continue to go that way. I think Siakam, it doesn't matter what the Knicks do. I think he's just a mismatch nightmare for the Knicks. So I believe Siakam is going to get his points no matter what. I know last game he didn't have the greatest showing. Pretty much nobody except Benedict Mathurin had a good game. So, I mean, for crying out loud. But I think Siakam, he just needs to continue to attack like he's always done. And Tyrese Halliburton, you can say it was an anomaly. I think I'll probably go to how you feel as well. I do believe that last game was an anomaly. I think Tyrese Halliburton will be a lot more aggressive, a lot more.
Well, it's an anomaly in the sense that him and Siakam just decided to play super passive.
Right.
Because Tyrese Halliburton, if you look at his game log, he has a lot of games these playoffs where he scores less than 15 points.
No doubt. But I think also the playmaking as well. His assists, he only had 6 assists, only had 2 rebounds. That's not like Tyrese Halliburton. He's a triple-double waiting to happen. I think this game, I believe he'll be back to his normal ways where we see that triple-double type of performance from Tyrese Halliburton. Surprisingly, the Knicks have done a really good job of defending Nembhard. Aaron Naismith also had a pretty bad game. So I think with the Pacers, they just have to get back to that game 2, game 4 level of play where they're controlling the pace, they're controlling the game from start to finish, where they have Aaron Naismith, they have Tyrese Halliburton, they have Siakam, they having Miles Turner pitching in. They need to get contributions from those guys, and they need to just pick apart Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, because that's what's been working for them, is the fact that those two are defensive liabilities. The media, social media has been killing Jalen Brunson. Like, oh my God, now he's a defensive liability. He's just as bad as Luka Doncic. Like, if they can get back to that where Brunson is getting exposed defensively, because it seems like they like to run a lot of these double screen actions, and the Knicks are trying super hard to not get Brunson on a switch. They want to hide Brunson. And by doing that, you're leaving somebody open. It could be a Miles Turner. It could be an Aaron Naismith. They need to get back to that if they want to win this game. Do I think the Pacers win this game? That's the $1 million question. I'm going with the Knicks. Okay. I'm going to go with the Knicks. I'm going to go with the Knicks this game, baby. I think
game 7 at the Garden, we'll take it.
I'm going conspiracy theorist on this one. I think Adam Silver is going to make the call. I don't know who the ref is for this game, but
let me actually I can look.
If it's Scott Foster, if it's Scott Foster, hey, yeah, GG's. But I think Adam Silver, he's going to make the call. I think for whatever reason, the Knicks will find a way to prevail in this game. And yeah, we're going to go back to New York now. Is the Knicks going to win in Game 7? Will remain to be seen. I'll make my pick later on. But I think this game, I think the Knicks will get one. I think they will. I think I'm confident in that. I think Tom Thibodeau, he learned from his mistake in the previous games where he would just shorten his rotation and not play the Landry Shamits of the world. I think
it is Tony Brothers.
Okay. All right.
James Cappers and Tyler Ford.
Okay. All right. Well,
so no extender.
Yeah, I still got the Knicks this game. I think I just think that they'll figure out a way this game. I'm being the conspiracy theorist right now and not being full analysis, but I just have a feeling the Knicks will get it done. If not, then oh well. But hopefully we can get a Game 7. Let's see. Who needs to play well for the Knicks? Obviously, you got to have Cat and Jalen Brunson, but who else needs to play well?
Obviously, Mikal Bridges. He's been very on and off this series. We need him to put up a consistent performance on both ends of the ball because it seems like when he's not getting it going offensively, it's easier to overlook his defensive impact on the game. And a lot of times he's playing on ball, and it just doesn't matter. Like sometimes Naismith will just shoot right in his face, and it's just like, oh, what can you do? At least respond back on the offensive end. And he just hasn't been doing that at the level you would expect him to do this entire series. And I also want to say I need to see OG Anunoby contribute. Like sometimes he's just out there just running around, and I'm just like, all right, bro, what they paid you however many $100 million in the offseason. Jalen Brunson sacrificing his contract for you. We need you to produce a little more because down the stretch of the games, he just turns into a ghost. Like he'll have a strong 3 quarters, strong second half explosion, third quarter, but then when the fourth quarter, when the game gets tight, you're like, dang, where OG at? And it's just out there doing whatever. And I think that could also be attributed to Tom Thibodeau's system because you look at the offense. What can you say that they do well offensively? Like, what is their scheme?
That's a great question. Again, I said it's supposed to be like a balanced offense, but we don't know exactly what they do. What exactly is their scheme? We don't. There's no identity.
So those two dudes got to get it going, man. We need Josh Hart to do something. I need Josh Hart to do something this game because rebounds alone ain't gonna do much for you. Like, yeah, it's good you hitting the glass. You may get some second chance points, opportunities for your team. But if you got to put the ball, you got to hit at least a couple shots.
Like last game, pretty much.
Yeah, like last game. We need you to replicate or do something similar to that last game. So those would be my top 3.
Right.
In order: Mikal, OG, Hart.
Yeah, I agree. You need those guys to contribute in any way, shape, or form. Let me ask you this: do you think Tyrese Halliburton is top 3 point guard in the league right now?
In the league,
yeah.
It's kind of hard to say no. Because you got my top 3. I would put.
Is Luka a point guard? Okay.
That's where the mix up. Like, is Luka really a point?
He's a point.
Okay, he's a point. So I go Luka. SGA is a shooting guard,
right? That's a great question. I think he is.
He's like a shooting guard.
But he's like Iverson in a sense where he's like a combo. I would
combo guard.
Is Shea this is where it gets dicey when it comes to like positions.
So should we do traditional point guards?
That's a
Because if we do traditional, he's probably the best.
Shea. They're saying Shea is a point guard, so I'll put let's just say point guard.
Yeah,
let's just go point guard.
Let's do more traditional. Yeah, I think he's the best traditional point guard in the league.
Okay, he's the best. Okay.
So if you want to expand it wide range to top 3 guard, it really depends what your definition point guard is. But I'd say Possibly, honestly, yeah.
Really? So again, Shea is a point
Because
guard.
think about it, in my opinion, he's the best point guard in the East as of right now. So then the only the people in the West you could really put him up against is Luca, if Shea, if you want to count him, Steph. But
You think he's
honestly,
better than Steph?
I'm personally taking Steph over him. But
You think
as far
you think Tyrese is better than Jalen Brunson?
yes, but it's not like a wide gap. It's not a wide gap at all. It's
Wow. I
not a
don't know
wide
about
gap.
that one. I don't know about that one. Why you think he's better than Jalen Brunson?
One, because one is a lot. I value the defensive side of the ball, and Tyrese Halliburton will play the passing lanes and all that stuff. And I think he's a better playmaker. Yes, Jalen Brunson is a better scorer, like easily. It's not really that close, but when one is hot, when Tyrese Halliburton is hot, it's just a different breed. And obviously, the way he just I don't know. I just think I just got to give Tyrese Halliburton the edge. Basically, what he's done these past 2 years, get to the playoffs and just going nuclear, going back-to-back conference finals. He has the pedigree. He has the pedigree, and it's not honestly. I'm gonna say it right here. You can win with Tyrese as your number one. I don't think you can win with Jalen Brunson as your number one. I'd
Wow.
rather take the shot on winning with Tyrese Halliburton as my number one player option versus Jalen Brunson.
Wow. All right. If the Knicks somehow win this series,
I'm scrubbing this
Oh, you're
segment off the
scrubbing this.
internet. I'm
Okay. All
scrubbing it
right.
off the internet.
All right. You better hope the Pacers win this series because it'll be an
If they lose, oh
ugly
Lord.
clip. Yeah. I'm just saying.
I will apologize to the state of New York and the Knicks org if the Pacers somehow blow this.
Wow. So you would rather? So you think Tyrese Halliburton is a better player than Jalen Brunson? You think Tyrese Halliburton's defense is that much better than Jalen Brunson?
Just off of like measurables alone. Like he can just give you a little more on the defensive end.
Obviously, because he has the height advantage.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know, but I might have to disagree with you on that one. I get what you're saying.
Maybe we need to see Jalen Brunson in a proper offense. Because you think about it, when he was in Dallas,
Dallas, yeah.
they was running Luka ball, so there wasn't really much sets or a bunch of design touches for real for him. He gets to the Knicks, he's pretty much running Jalen Brunson ball. So it's just playground hoops. So maybe we need to see him in a proper offensive scheme with a proper offensive minded coach to really get a good gauge on what his true ceiling is as a player.
I think we're seeing it. I think we're seeing it right now, in my opinion.
I know he's doing great now, but I'm saying like it could probably get even better.
Really? Okay.
Jalen Brunson, he's tough, man. He's tough.
In my opinion, I think he's better than Tyrese Halliburton. I know.
I'm not going to fight you on.
You look at the both ends. I mean, I'm not going to fight you on the both ends argument. Obviously, Tyrese is better than him on defense just because of the height, and that alone is going to help him tremendously. But just Jalen Brunson's offensive output, he's just so valuable, and his efficiency from that size. I just look at that alone. And the fact that he's averaging 26 points and 7 assists as well. I mean, it's not like he's only scoring the ball. Like he's actually averaging 7 assists while putting up 26 points on 49% from the field. That's pretty damn good.
All assists aren't created equally.
All assists. Okay. All right. Well, hey man, I mean, it's still 26 and 7 on 49% from the field. That's pretty damn good at his size.
Did you say 49?
49% from the field.
Dang.
Yeah. That's how good he is. He's like 6 feet tall. So, in my opinion, I'm gonna take Jalen Brunson over Tyrese Halliburton in that scenario. But in terms of top 3 guards, we gotta look down the list because you got Luka, you have Shea,
Steph.
I don't think Tyrese is better than Steph, in my opinion. I don't think he's better than Steph. I'm still putting Steph over Tyrese Halliburton at this
Steph's
point.
just a different breed. Yeah.
And then you have, in my opinion, you got Jalen Brunson afterwards, and then I think he could be. You could say he's a top 5 point guard.
Yeah, easily. Yeah, top 5
You
easily.
want to say top 5 point guard,
Yeah,
but
top 5.
top
Yeah.
3, I don't know about that one.
I think the top 5 should be universally agreed upon. Luka, Shea, Curry, Halliburton, Brunson, and then at 6 you put Cade.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. All right.
Am I missing somebody?
No, I'm now that I think about it, I might have to put Cade over Tyrese.
I don't know about that
I
one.
might
I don't know about that
might have to
one.
put Cade over Tyrese.
I don't know about that. I don't agree with that one.
I think Cade is a better defender. He's not nearly the obviously as a shooter, he's not close to Tyrese, but he can score he's a phenomenal scorer, even though he doesn't have the greatest jump shot as of right now. And his playmaking, he's one of the best in the league. I like Cade. I ain't gonna hold you. I might have to put Cade over Tyrese. I'm sorry. I like his defense more than Tyrese Halliburton. Yeah, I'll give the playmaking portion of it. I'll give Tyrese the slight edge as a passer, but it's not like Cade isn't far off as a passer from Tyrese Halliburton. And we already know Cade, he's a triple-double machine as well. I'm giving Cade the edge. I'm giving Cade the edge. I'm giving him the slight edge. I don't care if people say that's blasphemy. I
think Cade will be better in going forward, but as of right now, I think Halliburton still got him.
All right. Well, we could disagree. Do you think Halliburton is a superstar?
No, not. I don't. Listen. We need to fully establish the superstar criteria. I know we've had this discussion in the years past, but there is probably only 8 superstars in the NBA right now, and that is LeBron, Jokic, Curry, Giannis, Luka, Tatum, Shea, Anthony Davis, and Anthony Edwards. Those are the 8 superstars in my mind. Everybody else,
I think it's shorter.
On that border.
I think it's shorter. Yeah, I think it's
shorter. You think it's like 5?
Yeah.
I'm
way more strict.
Oh yeah, so it's okay. So is KD still KD's a superstar, right? Okay, let me.
So I was gonna save this till after the season, but we can start it off right now. I was gonna save this till after the season. This conversation, but we can start now. My definition of superstar is MVP caliber player who could be the 1A on a championship caliber team.
Okay.
So, with that being said, it might sound blasphemous, but I think the OGs in this day and age, I don't think they can be the 1A of a championship team. So that's Kevin Durant, that's LeBron, that's Steph. I don't think they can do it. And I know I probably said this in the past. I thought that Anthony Davis was a superstar. I was wrong. I don't think he's a superstar. I don't. I feel like we use that term superstar too loosely. When you're a superstar, you are the pinnacle. You are the peak of a player can be in the league. You are the person that people look to and say, we can build around this player to win a championship. You are the sole reason why we are where we're at. You can carry this team to a finals, to a potential championship. I don't see a lot of the OGs. I don't see Kevin Durant. I don't see Steph. I don't see LeBron being able to do that at their age because they're older, because they're dealing with injuries now. Their stamina isn't where it once was. They've lost the athleticism to be able to get by certain people now. A lot of their flaws are showing more than ever before. I just don't think that in this day and age that the 3 people I named can be considered superstars anymore. People will still say they're superstars because of their name value. But just watching what I've seen over the past year, I just don't think that they're capable of leading a team to a championship anymore. Um, Now, let's get to the other names on the list. Anthony Edwards is a top 10 player, in my opinion. But this past series showed me just why he's not a superstar just yet. I feel like we don't keep the same energy when it comes to certain players. Remember with Jason Tatum years ago, we were hesitant to call him a superstar because of his flaws that he continuously showed over and over again. I'm looking at Anthony Edwards, and it's the same scenario where he would get to the conference finals, he would get to a certain round, and he would get exposed. I don't think Ant is quite there yet. He's close, but there's still a step he needs to make before I can say, all right, Ant, he's finally arrived. He's a superstar. All right. I already mentioned Anthony Davis. Who else? Who else is
I
there?
said Tatum.
Oh yeah, Tatum's a superstar, no question.
I said
Obviously Jokic,
Steph.
Shea. I
Yeah,
already mentioned
Giannis,
Steph. I don't think Steph is a superstar
Luca.
anymore. Luca's a superstar. Giannis is a superstar.
Yeah.
Jokic is a superstar. Shea is a superstar. I think there's 5 superstars.
Okay.
I think there's 5 superstars in this league that I look to and I say they're MVP caliber and they can be the 1A to a team that is trying to compete for a championship. That's just me.
I can't be too mad at that criteria. Me, it's like a combination. Like you got to have the name value and name recognition, brand recognition, and you also got to have the talent and play to back it up. I still think guys like KD, Steph, and Bron are playing at a super high level for where they are in their career. And KD's team has been lackluster, but Steph, he was in the mix. They was in the mix until he got hurt. LeBron,
And got hurt. He got hurt. I feel like
Yeah.
injury. We have to take into account injuries as well. That also is a factor. I think at times we tend to ignore the injury
But to
portion
be
of
fair,
things.
Steph is an injury guy.
Right, but he's getting up there in age now. Like I think I think it was this past season where he dealt with an injury and he had to sit out for a little bit. He just doesn't have the durability like he once did, back in 2015 all the way to his championship reign in 2022. I just think the age factor and the durability, the lack of durability, like how they were before, hurts them.
No,
That's
I
just
definitely can see that. It's just kind of hard to like push out the old guard completely and bring in like the younger guys. I think they've earned the benefit of the doubt for now at least. If they start faltering next season, we could remove them then.
they
But as
have.
of right now,
Yeah, right now, this is what I'll say because obviously you can poke holes at my argument. It is very easy to poke holes because you can say, well, was Joel Embiid not a superstar years ago when he
I
was
forgot
dropping
about that.
30?
Well, Embiid in Big 25 he's probably not a
But
superstar.
but 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 I'll say this for anybody that brings that argument to the table. I'm not arguing that Joel Embiid doesn't have superstar talent. My argument is that it's not just you have the talent, it's there's other factors at large. It is, are you available? That is a huge part of it all. Are you available? Can I
Yeah,
count on you
that is
from
true.
a night to night basis just off
Yeah.
of your health? And when we look at LeBron, when we look at Steph, when we look at KD, that's just not the case nowadays. Even and LeBron, yeah, he played 70 games this year, but if you recall, there was a time during a year, I think it was around Christmas time, where he had to sit out for like almost 2 weeks because of he was dealing with injuries or something like that. He was fatigued because dude is 40 years old. And then he came back and look, he's fresh now. But then here comes March and he gets hurt again. And so the age part of it, the health part of it is a huge part of it all. That's why Kawhi in my opinion, I don't think Kawhi has been a superstar since 2020. And we give Kawhi the label because we think, all right, he comes back, he's back to form instantly, he's a superstar. But I think we have to really be careful who we label as superstars, because whoever is a superstar, it comes with expectations. There's a different level of expectations. And when I look at Ant compared to Jason Tatum, it's clear as day there's a difference in expectations between the two guys. When we look at Jason Tatum, we judge him as a superstar. We judge him as the guy that's supposed to be the next face. I know people say Ant is the next face, but we don't judge him as the next face. Jason Tatum, we judge as the next face. The expectations we gave LeBron, the expectations we gave to Kobe, the expectations we gave to all these superstars in the past, we're giving those expectations to Jason Tatum. We're not giving those expectations to Ant, because people are not looking at Ant as the next dominant guy at this moment. Maybe in the future, but at this moment, people are trying to convince you that's the case, but their actions are not reflecting what they're saying. It's just not the case.
I do think they give him a lot of leeway because of the he's 23 argument. And where was such and such when it was 23? And I mean, he still got to play good. I mean,
but they were doing the same thing with Tatum at one point. I think
he was he's only 19. I remember that.
It didn't start until 2022 when he made the finals. That's when the criticism started to come, because he was making first team All NBA every single year. He was dominating, and then all of a sudden we see the debates of, is he a superstar? Is he in the top 10? Is he better than this person? And then he falters in the NBA finals, and we're like, what's going on? So the same thing is happening with Ant, where we're giving him some leeway, and eventually over time there will be that media rush of people that are criticizing Anthony Edwards every single playoffs, every single move that he makes. It's just not right now, because he's still very young. He's 23 years old. But give it another year. If they get Kevin Durant, if they get somebody that can help
running meat.
Right, that can help raise the ceiling for them. You just watch. There's going to be a lot of critics out there that are really going to keep their eye on what Anthony Edwards does in the future.
That's how they always do.
Right. And speaking of Anthony Edwards, you might as well transition. We the Thunder.
Before we transition, I got a question. Which newer or young star do you think is the closest to that superstar label?
The superstar label.
I think I have a pretty easy answer. But I want to see if we on the same page or not.
Close to the superstar label. I think. Well, I have Ant in my top 10, so I would say Ant. But in terms of a guy that I can confidently say maybe next year they'll enter that conversation is probably Victor Wembanyama.
See, we on the same page. We on the same page with it. It's Vic.
Yeah, it's Vic. But again, he has to win, right? He has to win
and stay healthy.
He has to stay
healthy. Even though the blood clots ain't really.
I know. That's such a freak injury accident, unfortunately. But I think Vic, his ceiling where he is right now and his development, if he can steadily improve, obviously with the whole blood clot situation, is kind of hurting him a little bit because he's not going to be able to play too much at this moment. Hopefully he's progressing well. But if he can improve next season, I would think that Victor Wembanyama would be in a great place, especially since now they have the second pick in the draft. Who knows what they'll do? I've been hearing Dylan Harper maybe, but you never know. They might make some moves in this offseason that can propel them to compete right away. And I just think Vic, if my money was on a player, I think Vic would probably be at the top of the list. If the blood clots, if he can get that situated and everything goes right, I think Vic is the easy answer.
Yep, I agree. And then after that, I'd put Cade.
Cade over Ant?
Ain't already a superstar in my eyes.
Oh,
So
that's right. That's right. I don't have Ant right. I don't have Ant there yet. But okay. No, that's fair. Yeah, Cade is definitely a easy bet as well. Cade, his game, he's an all around great player. He can defend, he can rebound, he can assist, he can score. He just has to
if I
improve
had to
that
give
jump shot.
Cade a comp, he is like John Rondo on steroids. That
Rajon Rondo,
actually looks to score.
really? Rajon Rondo on steroids. I'm trying to picture what that. Okay, I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that. I just think Cade, he's a mixture of a lot of dudes in the league right now. He's a mixture of
Honestly, yeah.
Shea, a mixture of Luca. He's just a mixture of a lot of dudes in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah. Detroit basketball will be fun to watch. They need another shot creator though.
Yeah, they already have a lot of good defenders. They have the defense is set. Defense is
Yeah.
good. Asar Thompson, he's a fantastic. Him and Amim, like both of them are great defenders. So they have the defense taken care of. It's just about the shot selection. It's just about making threes. If they can find more shooters, if they can find more shot creators, they should be good to go. But yeah, man. Good question. Good question. But speaking of Anthony Edwards, I want to talk about Thunder and Timberwolves. We gave our predictions over a week ago who we thought was going to win the series. You kind of hesitated a little bit after I mentioned some of the details. I can't recall if you ended up picking the Thunder at the end, but you had this series going to 7. It ended up going
Actually, I had to go
five.
into 6.
Oh, you had it going to 6. It ended up going in 5. There was 2 games where it was it was only, I think it was only 1 game where it was actually very competitive. All the other games were pretty much blowouts by the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
So just what was your thoughts on the series? How'd you feel about the Thunder in this series? And we'll get to more things that I want to talk about, but I just want your thoughts on what you saw from this series.
I was pretty disappointed in how that series ended up playing out. I was expecting a lot more competitiveness from the Timberwolves. And shoot, even that one game, OKC got blown out of the water, nearly like a 40-point loss. I was expected to see more competitive basketball. And this series really makes you appreciate the greatness of Jokic, because Jokic took these boys to 7, and OKC they just walked through Minnesota pretty much. And
Mhm.
it was just a sad sight. And then, like, OKC, they have definitely hit their stride. They are in full effect now. We got Jalen Williams putting up consistent performances. We have defense out the wazoo. Like, they have dudes they can just send at you at every direction, every moment. And Shea, listen, I think that the little hate campaign that's going on for Shea is absolutely ridiculous.
Corny.
This man is a bona fide bucket. And people say, oh, he's a free throw. Bro, if you drive the most out of anybody in the league, of course you're going to get to the free throw line. You're going to get fouled.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you tell these people that shoot 15 threes a night to start driving more, maybe they'll see the free throw line more. How are we mad at the superstar whistle? That's a real thing. A superstar whistle is a real thing. Why are we now mad about that someone's using it? It's ridiculous, man. People need to cut it out. Y'all say y'all clamor, y'all bang the table. We want new stars. We don't want to see the same people in the finals every year. Then we get them. It's like, oh, this is a free throw merge. I don't want to watch that. What are you talking about? Do y'all don't even like basketball at this point? Y'all the same people. We want to see the mid range be incorporated. But okay, I'm going to shoot mid range. Oh my gosh. He's always at the free throw line. I turn the game off. I turn it back on 10 minutes. He's at the free throw line. Stop lying. Shea doesn't even get that many free throw attempts compared to other stars that have similar seasons. They treat him like he was James Harden back in 2018. Bro, James Harden, they had to guard James Harden with their hands behind their back. That's how bad he would foul bait. And they acting like it's the same. Bro, it's not the same thing. Y'all need to cut it out, man. For real, like, seriously. It's getting very corny. Because
People forget when Kevin Durant used to do that little swing move.
yeah,
He would
the
get
rip
two free
move.
throws. He would get 2 free throws from it too. They had the
Exactly. They had
outlaw.
to change it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The rip through move. They literally had to change the move because Chris Paul and KD was abusing it. We don't
Yep.
say nothing about that though. Shoot,
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Brunson be foul baiting like a mug too. They don't say nothing about him. So we just need to cut it out, man. OKC is a fun team to watch. They're energetic. They're fast. They play all over the place. It's just fun hoops to watch. And honestly, no matter who comes out of the East, the Thunder's walking through them. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. It might not even get the 6 games. Like
Wow.
it's because the Thunder, they just like this is the historic defense that showed up on the analytics, showed up in this Western Conference Finals matchup. Like, where was Jaden McDaniels? He wasn't doing anything. Nas Reed was a ghost. Julius Randle had the worst stretch of games in this entire series. Rudy Gobert, I don't even know did he even score? I'm pretty obvious he scored, but like he's looking bad.
Barely.
So I mean, it's really a difference. Like everything that we saw from the Thunder in the regular season showed up in this series. Whereas the series against the Nuggets, they was like, "Ooh, maybe they a little fraudulent." They said, "Nah, nah. We see the finals in the distance. We going full throttle." So salute to them OKC boys, man. Fun team to watch. Glad to see some new faces, in the finals.
Yeah.
And the fact they didn't choke it away with the historic regular season, but then failed in the play. I'm glad they saw it all the way through.
I was rewatching all the games really, except I think it was game 5. I was rewatching all of them before we came into the live stream and did the podcast. And one thing that I noticed is the amount of turnovers that the OKC Thunder force on their opponents. They're actually number 1 in forcing turnovers on their opponents. And guess what? They're number 1 in not committing turnovers. So you're facing a team that not only is number 1 in forcing turnovers, they're number 1 in not committing turnovers. It's going to be very hard. Let me ask you this question, because I remember I mentioned this months ago. I actually pulled up the video before we did the podcast like hours ago, and it was a video after they beat the Celtics in Boston. And I said, I can't think of a collection of perimeter defenders like the OKC Thunder. Just the amount of guys that can guard the wing, that can guard the perimeter. Is this the best collection of perimeter defenders we've ever seen?
Oh, the Pistons had some dudes.
Talking about 04?
Yeah, they had some dudes.
Best collection of perimeter.
Best collection. Possibly. It probably is OKC, honestly, because you got Shea plays defense, Lou Dort minutes on defense, Caruso minutes on defense, J Dub will get on you. Chet is good on the perimeter as well. There really is no weak spots defensively for them on the perimeter wise. So I honestly, probably.
Yeah. And hold on, I need to open my door real quick. These flies keep roaming around. Hold on.
Well, we going solo for the minute while he handles that stuff. I want to say, if you're watching, you enjoy the content, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all of that good stuff to get more Courtside View NFL and NBA content. We have 2 channels, NFL, NBA.
All right, so yeah, so I posed that question just from watching all the film that I watched from game 1 to game 5. It just shows just how good their defense was. Like, they were really making it difficult for the Timberwolves to score. Like, I posted something on the Courtside View podcast Instagram story where there was like a couple plays where the Timberwolves were trying to get into action. They were trying to go by their man. They were trying to do a DHO, which is a dribble handoff, and it just wasn't working. They were trying to do a pick and roll. It just wasn't working. They were getting stripped every single time. It was Randall. It was Nas Reed. It was Randall again.
Mike Conley had a horrible series.
Mike Conley sold. He sold for the Timberwolves. He was god awful. Like absolutely atrocious. He would be wide open, brick every single time. He just was not doing anything well. And then defensively, because he's undersized, he's a liability. Yeah. And at his age as well, he's not going to be able to do much. This series, not only was the Thunder perimeter defense so stifling, so aggressive, so physical, but when I look at the Timberwolves side of things, although the defense for the Thunder was all-time great, I felt like the Timberwolves could have done something to at least make it easier on themselves. I felt like they did themselves a disservice so many times. And I mentioned this about their offense, that drive and kick offense works well when you're playing teams that aren't very athletic, don't have the size. It's going to work well. It's going to look beautiful. But when you're going up against a team like OKC, I know it's rare because it's a rarely great defense, an historic defense. But when you're going up against a team like OKC that has the size, that has the athleticism, that has the speed, that has the IQ, you're not going to be able to get away with going by somebody and driving and kicking for an open three, because guess what's going to happen? They're going to recover.
They're going to close out, yeah.
And they have the width, they have the arm width to be able to get the flexion. I don't think
there's a single player on that court under 6'5".
Bro, I want to say you can go through 1 through maybe 8. Everybody can guard from the perimeter. There's not a single guy that is a liability unless you want to say, well, if you want to go height, for example, where you have Randall and Shea trying to guard them. Obviously, he's going to be a mismatch. But when you look at just normal circumstances where you say this guy guards this guy guards this guy, position for position, there is no mismatch for the Timberwolves to exploit. I would watch Randall. This is where it got egregious. I would watch Randall be the ball handler on a pick and roll, and Mike Conley would set a screen. What are we doing? Guess what happened? Turnover. Get Alex Caruso. Or it would be Gilgeous-Alexander Walker would be the ball handler, the pick and roll ball handler. And I think it would be Randall or Anthony Edwards would try to set a screen. Like, what are we doing? Like, what is that the answer that you're looking for? This is what I'm talking about when it comes to this team and their deficiencies on offense. Although, yes, they need another ball handler. They need another guy that can make for the team, make it easier, because Mike Conley at his day and age, he's like close to 40. He's pushing 40. He's just not at that level anymore. But they could have done something to make it easier. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care that you don't have the necessary ball handlers, the necessary facilitators. I don't want to see Randall dribbling the ball a million times. That's just bad coaching, in my opinion. You could have figured out a way to where Randall is not constantly getting the ball at the top of the key or the top of the wing. That's just bad coaching. So many times they are just freelancing. They're trying to make it up as they go. That's just not going to work against a team like OKC that has the wing defenders, that has the size, that has the athleticism, that has the physicality. What are you doing? And it just frustrated me so many times. And then here comes another point that I have to make, that they really screwed themselves. They really shot themselves in the foot. Rudy Gobert. This is going to be a recurring theme. You know the meme on Twitter where it's the dynasty starts when you're not
After
there
you,
anymore.
yeah.
Yeah, after you. That's the case with Rudy Gobert. The dynasty starts when he's not there anymore. So many times they would have Rudy Gobert set the screen and he would be the roller and it would be a turnover. Because he's not a threat
He doesn't
offensively.
have bro. He has bad hands. Like, good
He,
grief.
he has some of the worst hands that I've seen for a center. He can't stretch the floor, so the defense can easily key in on it. And he's not a post threat. He's just a liability on offense. You could literally just draft a guy in the first round of a draft, and he could do a lot of the things that Rudy Gobert can do offensively. But
Oh
they're
yeah.
paying the guy $200 million. So you're stuck with that contract. How are you going to move that contract? I have no clue. The dynasty doesn't start until after him. And then I gotta get to the guy. I have to do it. It's unfortunate. Anthony Edwards. He wasn't good. He wasn't good. We have to talk about this. Matter of fact, let's look at the box score real quick. Let me share my screen real quick. Here we go. We got to talk about this real quick. This is game 5. We'll go a little. So 7 for 18, 19 points, 1 for 7 from the 3. Also 4 for 6 from the free throw line. Matter of fact, let's go through the series. Let's just go throughout the series. I feel like I'm doing a disjustice. The last 5 games for Ant. This is the last 5 games for him. We have 19 points, 16 points. Okay, back-to-back 30 points. 1 in a blowout. And 18 points.
Where is the volume? Like, I'm seeing 18, that's a good solid. 13, like, why are we only shooting 13 times? And 13 in a freaking closeout game. Like,
And it's not like he's getting a bunch of assists. He's only getting 6 assists. He's getting 2 assists. He's getting 3 assists. If he was getting 10 assists, if he was getting a triple-double, I'd be like, all right, I can understand.
the
But
three
Anthony
ball
Edwards,
just wasn't there.
Anthony Edwards ain't even getting that.
He did settle a lot. I will know that. I will say that he settled a lot in this series from the 3-point line. It doesn't seem like he was trying to get to a spot or anything. He would just kind of get the ball on the wing or the top of the key, and just like, the defense is a little too good. I'm gonna just shoot. And it was just like, you could have possibly got a better look than that, but okay.
He was settling a lot for 3-point shots. There was times where, yes, he was open. Obviously, you're going to shoot those shots.
Yeah.
But then there was other times where he would settle for step back long twos.
Yeah, he would call for a screen, get the screener. The switch probably doesn't happen because OKC doesn't allow a lot of switches like that. And if they do, you would still get another top tier, a high level defender on you. So he would just get the ball, dribble, like shoot, and it just pull up. I'm like, what kind of offense is this?
He would over dribble so many times. Him and Randall were dribbling constantly. He thought he was James Harden. I'm like, dude, 3 dribble, pull up. 3 dribble, 3-pointer. 3, like, why are we dribbling 8 times? That was another thing that blew my mind, is that why are we not running more DHOs, dribble handoffs? Why are we constantly asking Ant, giving him the ball at the top of the key, constantly demanding a screen and having him create for himself? Like, you cannot do that against this team of perimeter defenders.
Yeah, I don't know. They tried to win the game. You can't shoot a team like OKC out. If you looked at the Nuggets game, a lot of Nuggets series, they got a lot of work from the mid-range and the interior. Why would you try to outshoot a team that is a perimeter strength defensively? Like, that's stupid.
And it was a lot of the guys were doing stuff that they're not known for doing. Like, why am I seeing Naz Reid posting up? He's not a post scorer. What are we doing? Why is Julius Randle acting like he's a facilitator? That's not your game, bro. You're a bruiser. Get in the post. What are
I
we
saw
doing?
Randall
Like,
a lot on the perimeter. I mean, dang.
and every time he did it, it was a disaster. Like game 4, where it was a close game. They had the opportunity to win the game, but Julius Randle was atrocious. He would do some dumb stuff. He would try to shoot over guys. It would be 3 guys in the paint, and he's trying to shoot over them. Like, what are you doing? Do you not see deep? This was game 5, excuse me, but like the clip, he is in the paint, pump faking against 3 guys. DiVincenzo and Gilgeous-Alexander Walker are open. Pass the ball. And he tries to shoot over them. He gets blocked, I think it was. It's just stupid stuff like that where I'm just like, see what I mean? When they go up against a team that can match up with them physically and athletically, this is what happens. They get exposed. They get exposed. Salute to them for playing well the first 2 rounds, but this is a different breed, and I just hate to see that Ant couldn't figure out a way to overcome it. I understand he's still developing, but a lot of times he was trying to go through a crowd. He was forcing the issue. He was forcing shots, forcing a lot of bad shots, not taking enough shots. It's one thing because I saw his I think it was his post game interview where he said I didn't get enough shots. So I think he said something to the realm. I didn't feel like I played bad, was it? Because he didn't get enough shots. I could be misquoting him, but it was something to that realm where he didn't feel like he played a bad game. He could play a bad game because he didn't get enough shots. Well, part of that is that's you. That's on you. Like you're supposed to be the guy. You're getting the ball a lot. Like why aren't
Yeah.
you going to the coaching staff saying, "Hey, maybe we should run a DHO. Maybe you should get me the ball on the block or something." They weren't doing none of that. It was just him at the top of the key, at the wing, asking for a screen. He's trying to speed boost like it's NBA 2K. You're not doing that against this team, and that's why this offense has a lot of limitations. You can win with this offense, but against a great team, you're not going to bode well against them. It's just not the case.
Yeah, Chris Finch, he had a disaster class in this series. I don't know what he was doing. The rotations was off. The offensive play, it was just bad. I'm like, he just got severely outcoached.
Yeah. They could have done a lot better. And another thing that
I don't think they tried to employ any strategy that worked for the Nuggets from that Nuggets and Thunder. I don't think they tried to employ a single strategy.
You know what confused me was they ran a lot of drop coverage against OKC. And I thought to myself, I know Shea, obviously Shea, he's MVP, he's amazing. But I remember again, I know it's the Lakers, there is a different breed, but I remember when they played the Lakers and they did some switching and it worked against Luka. I was thinking, why not do some switching if the drop coverage isn't working? Why not try switching? And they didn't do that. I was confused. I was like, why not switch it up and see if it works? Because Rudy Gobert had a good time defending on switches. I would assume, you know what, maybe let's try it again. And if it doesn't work, we could look for something else. They just kept doing drop coverage. And eventually Shea figured it out. I think it was game 1. Shea, another thing, Shea, this is why Shea is a superstar. Because as a superstar, in a game of this magnitude, you can have a bad first half. But then in the second half, all of a sudden you figure out exactly what they're doing. They'll do a drop coverage. They'll have a help side defender try to contain the middle. Okay, Shea, he figures out here comes the help. Here comes the double team. And he'll dish it off to a Case and Wallace. By Case and Wallace, he was amazing. He was an unsung hero for OKC. He would hit a lot of open threes for them when they needed it. And that's why they were able to prevail in a lot of these games, is because Shea's playmaking out of double teams, out of help defense, and then eventually Shea would be playing one-on-one because the Timberwolves are like, damn, we're helping, we're we're trying to double team, and that's not working. Let's just play one on one and live with that. And Shea is just burning them. So salute to Shea, but I felt like Timberwolves maybe they should have done more switching. I felt like they just relied too heavily on the help defense, on the double teaming, on the drop coverage. Maybe you should have tried switching. Maybe you should have done some more zone coverage, but they didn't. They didn't. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Down the stretch, they was horrible. They couldn't buy a bucket.
Who do you think is more to blame? Do you think the coaching is more to blame, or do you think Ant is more to blame for his performance? Do you think Chris Finch could have helped Ant a lot more, or do you think Ant it should have been upon him to really figure out things? Because I was watching the game and I was like, yeah, and he does need to work on some things, but that offensive scheme, man, I don't know. Where are you on this?
It's coaching. I'm always more likely than not, I'm going to blame coaching over one individual player, because the coach is responsible for the entire team and the all type the offense and all that, and it just wasn't non-existent. The rotations was bad. It was just a disaster class from Chris Finch. And let's be honest. Let's be honest about this Timberwolves team. Let's be truthfully honest. They overachieved.
Like hell. Yeah.
They overachieved. No, many people did not have them even getting past the first round, let alone go to the freaking conference finals. They overachieved. So this series, honestly, it was more. It wasn't really X's. It was X's and O's, but it was also Jimmy and Joe's. So it just the Thunder just had better dudes.
They did. I agree with that.
I mean, but you also got to coach. You got to coach well. You got to coach your guys up. You had momentum coming in. You were rested, and you just came out flat. So I mean, you had that one game, woohoo, one blowout win, but you got out of here in 5 games. So where do you go from here? You spent the draft pick on Rob Dillingham, who got no tick at all in the playoffs because he's undersized and he wasn't even doing the thing he got drafted for, which is scoring. So now you're kind of back at square one when it comes to a young guard that you need. And Rudy Gobert's making all this money, and he is giving you nothing offensively. And Julius Randle had a good series, had a good play until you went against OKC. He had that one game, and I think that was game 2. He had like 20 points in the first half. But then after that, he was a ghost. Mm-hmm. So y'all got some work to do, man. They got some work to do.
They really do. I will say I do like Terrence Shannon Jr., the guy that they drafted out of Illinois. He was pretty good for them. He gave them some firepower. But Rob Dillingham has been a disappointment. Remember, they traded up.
Yeah, they traded
to get Rob Dillingham. I think they gave up their future 2031 pick, first round pick. It was unprotected, and it was like a pick. It was a pick swap, 2030 with the Spurs, but it's like top 1 protected, so they had to get like the number 1 pick or something like that. But yeah, man, it's like to get Rob Dillingham and not use him. I think that was a huge mistake for the Timberwolves, because at the time I thought, oh my God, get another scorer for Anthony Edwards. That's great. But over time, as we saw the season wane, it started to look like, oh, this was a mistake. Because they need a guy that can, you need a guy that can shot create, but you also need a guy that can facilitate. And Rob Dillingham, he's not known to be a facilitator. He's just a scorer. They're comparing him to like Lou Williams. That's just not who he is. He's not a facilitator. Like Bub Carrington, like you look at other guards in the draft. You look at Bub Carrington. You look at Jared McCain. Like these guys came after him, and they played well for their teams. So for Rob Dillingham to trade up to get Rob Dillingham, and he's not even better than Bub Carrington and Jared McCain.
Man, Jared McCain would have been such a help for that team.
Oh yeah. It's a sad state of affairs. I don't know what they can go after Kevin Durant. I've been hearing rumblings about Kevin Durant. He would definitely help them tremendously. But with that get them over the top.
No, I don't think so.
And who would they trade in this scenario?
Exactly.
Would they trade a Jaden McDaniels?
You would have to.
Jaden McDaniels is valuable defensively. So getting rid of Jaden McDaniels, that would hurt them.
30. How old KD? 36, 30, 35, 37, something like
36, 37,
that?
something. He's around the same age as Steph. Yeah. So that's a huge loss because you need a guy like Jaden McDaniels, and his offensive game has steadily improved. Like he's become a far better offensive player year after year.
Maybe they could call. Reports came out. No one on the Pelicans is untradeable. Maybe they could make a call for Trey Murphy or something.
Trey Murphy would be a valuable piece, but you need another shot creator. You would just be another guy that, he could play defense, but
Trey Murphy could get a little bucket. You thinking of Herb Jones?
He can. No. Trey Murphy can score a little bit, but he's not the level of scoring that you need. I don't think he brings that to the table.
Okay.
I think he's like in that hybrid of like an OG or Mikal Bridges type of scoring, even though I think Mikal is a little bit better. But he's in that type of lane where he could score, he can get a bucket, but he's not an elite level scorer that you need to get over a Thunder, get over some of these top teams to win a championship. Kevin Durant does help them a lot, but you still need that defense.
Would you call up Washington and see about Jordan Poole?
Absolutely not. No. Well, I think a lot of this boils down to their scheme. Because their scheme is just, you can't just keep thinking that you could drive and kick.
Think of guards that they could possibly poach, but I'm like teams are being stingy with the guards, unless you're like De'Aaron Fox and they just trade you to the Spurs. But we all know Spurs ain't trading De'Aaron Fox, so I'm trying to scan the league. I'm not really seeing who they could kind of poach.
They need a facilitator.
Maybe you could get like a Colin Sexton or something, then have him come off the bench.
No.
Off the bench? You wouldn't take
off the bench is okay, but they need a facilitator. They need a shot creator. Kevin Durant fits that shot creator build, but they need a facilitator. Like Ant can't be the guy running the offense all the time. You cannot constantly rely on Anthony Edwards as the guy running your offense, because it'll just be the same thing that happened in Phoenix, where they thought, okay, Devin Booker, he could be the guy that runs your offense, and you have Bill and you have KD. Like, no, Devin Booker is a scorer. That's where he makes his bucks. That's where he makes his money. He is not a point guard. And that's where it becomes a problem with the Timberwolves. Until they find a true facilitator and also a shot creator to pair with Anthony Edwards, they're just going to be stuck in the same scenario unless Anthony Edwards just takes that next step as a playmaker and as a scorer, which I don't see that happen. I don't think
What team is Tyus Jones on? Is he on the Suns still?
I think he is. I think he might be still on the Suns. But
get both of them. Get KD and Tyus Jones.
I don't know if Tyus Jones is enough.
He can facilitate at least better than Mike Conley.
I don't think that's enough. Especially, how tall is he? He might be the same size as Mike Conley.
I think he is actually.
He's 6'1". You're pretty much getting Mike Conley. He's just younger. It's like close to 10 years younger.
I don't know what they can do then as far as guards, because look around the league, a lot of teams is like, no, we ain't giving you our playmaker guard. Unless
they
could draft one.
Because we saw last year with Boston, they won a championship that they didn't have a traditional point guard. Unless they're going that route where Anthony Edwards continues to improve on his ability to facilitate and he becomes an even more polished scorer and then you just surround him with so many guys that can create for themselves and hit threes. If they can do that, then okay, maybe we can do some things. But as of right now, I'm still a bit worried on the trajectory of the Timberwolves unless Ant somehow continues to improve on his game as a facilitator and as a scorer. So it really boils down to Ant in this scenario because I can't see like where are the facilitators are you going to find where are the point guards that can help create for Anthony Edwards. It's not much out there. It's not much out there. There's only really like a lot of the top point guards that can facilitate. Teams aren't trading them.
Yeah.
And there's so many just combo guard, like so many guys that are score first, like the De'Aaron Foxes of the world, that doesn't really address what you need. So I don't know. Let's see what else we got. So yeah, that'll do it. I can't think of anything else at this moment. I don't really care too much about the All NBA. If I had more information in regards to just how well Donovan Mitchell played, because I didn't watch a whole lot of Cleveland games. I'm not gonna fake like I watched a whole bunch of Cavalier games and I know exactly every single game how Donovan Mitchell played. So I'm not gonna comment on how I feel about Donovan Mitchell making first team All NBA and if he deserves it over Steph, LeBron, all these other guys. So I'm gonna leave that alone unless you want to talk about it real quick.
Nah, I really have no thoughts on the All NBA list. I don't really care about that stuff anymore.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we talked enough as of right now. We'll see. We'll see what happens tonight. Who wins game 6? Knicks, Pacers. I'm praying that we get a game 7. I'm really hoping that we get a game 7 because that would be amazing. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the notification bell, follow the socials, and we will see you all on the next episode of the Courtside Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and we are out of here. Peace.
Salute.
All right. Whew.